It's 3 in the morning, the city outside is finally quiet, but your mind is anything but. You're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, completely lost in a conversation that never actually happened. You're replaying an argument with your boss from last week. This time, however, you have the perfect comeback. You're articulate, you're confident. You say everything you wish you had said in the moment. The words flow effortlessly, leaving your boss speechless. It feels so real, so satisfying. For a moment, you almost forget it's just a scene playing out in your head, a private screening for an audience of one. This experience isn't unique to you. Far from it. We all do it. We get lost in these detailed, imaginary scenarios. Maybe you're not arguing with your boss. Perhaps you're practicing a difficult conversation with a friend, rehearsing the exact words. Or maybe you're imagining a first date, rehearsing jokes and charming anecdotes. These mental movies can be about the past, they can be about the present, they can be about the future, they can be sources of immense comfort, or sources of intense anxiety, or even a strange kind of entertainment that keeps you up at night. Why does our brain spend so much time and energy creating these elaborate fictions? It can feel like a quirky, sometimes frustrating feature of our minds. You might even feel a little strange for doing it, wondering if you're the only one. But you are not alone, and this habit is not as random as it seems. There's a deep, fascinating psychology behind why we direct, produce, and star in these imaginary dialogues. It's a fundamental part of being human, a window into our deepest hopes, fears, and needs. In this essay, we'll pull back the curtain on this common human experience. We'll explore the hidden purpose behind these fake scenarios. You'll discover your brain isn't just being weird. It's often trying to do one of 3 things. It's trying to prepare you for the future. It's trying to help you escape the present. It's trying to help you process emotions from the past. We'll approach this with curiosity and warmth, without judgment, inviting you to understand your own mind a little better. Think of your brain as a sophisticated, always-on simulation machine. It's constantly running models of the world to help you navigate it safely and effectively. When you imagine a scenario, you're essentially stepping into your own private rehearsal studio. This mental stage allows you to practice for life's big moments without any real-world consequences. This first function, preparation, is one of the most powerful tools your mind possesses. It's your brain's way of trying to get a step ahead to ensure you're ready for whatever challenges or opportunities come your way. The second major reason we create these scenarios is for escape. Life can be tough. It can be stressful, boring, or painful. When reality becomes too much to handle, our minds have a built-in escape hatch, our imagination. That's your brain offering you a temporary vacation from a stressful situation. The third function is arguably the most profound, processing emotions. Sometimes we have feelings that are too big or too complicated to deal with directly. We might be grappling with grief, anger, or regret. Imagined conversations give us a safe space to untangle these feelings. You might replay a painful memory, but this time you give yourself the closure you never received. This isn't about changing the past, but about changing how the past lives inside of you. It's a way to rewrite the emotional script. Throughout our journey today, we will explore each of these 3 functions in detail: preparation, escape, processing. We will look at the science behind how your brain prepares, the psychology of why you escape, and the emotional healing that can come from processing. My goal is to help you reframe this habit. Instead of seeing it as a frustrating quirk, you'll begin to see it as a powerful tool. So let's begin by looking at how our brains build these intricate worlds and why they are so good at preparing us for reality. At its core, your brain is a prediction machine. It works tirelessly, not just to react to the world around you, but to anticipate what's coming next. This is a survival mechanism honed over millions of years of evolution. Our ancestors needed to predict where a predator might appear. In our modern world, the threats are different, but the underlying brain function remains the same. Instead of predators, we predict how a job interview will go. When you imagine a future conversation, you are activating a network often called the default mode network. This network includes areas like the medial prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus. You are essentially pulling from your vast library of past experiences. every conversation you've ever had, every social cue you've ever read, to build a plausible simulation of a future event. Your brain is asking, based on everything I know, what is likely to happen here? Think of it like a weather forecast for your social life. Your brain uses data from your memories and knowledge of people to predict the emotional climate of an upcoming interaction. It constructs these fake conversations as a way to map out the possibilities. What if you say this? How might they react? This process isn't just about worrying. It's about exploring the potential paths a conversation could take, allowing you to prepare for multiple outcomes. It's your brain doing its primary job, trying to reduce uncertainty about the future. It's a deeply proactive process. By simulating these social encounters, your brain is attempting to give you a strategic advantage. It's your own personal strategy department, running drills and preparing you for the field. Imagination is essentially a mental sandbox. It's a safe, contained space where you can build and experiment. You can knock things down without real-world consequences. When you create a fake conversation, you step into this sandbox to play with ideas, words, and emotions. Try a bold negotiation tactic with your boss. Test a vulnerable confession with a friend. If the imaginary version goes poorly, no one gets hurt. No relationships are damaged. Reset the scene, rewind the tape, try a different approach. Neuroscientists call this simulation. Your brain doesn't draw a thick line between imagining and doing. Vivid imagining lights the same neural pathways as the real thing. Your heart rate might rise. Your palms might sweat. Emotional centers of the brain light up. That's why these scenarios feel so real and powerful. It's like a flight simulator for social interactions. Pilots train in simulators for emergencies before flying real planes. Your brain uses imagined talks to practice tricky social situations. Rehearse asking for a raise from an intimidating manager. We've all been there. You have to deliver bad news. You need to confront a friend about something that's been bothering you. You have to apologize for a mistake. These conversations are heavy, and the stakes feel high. The dread leading up to them can be paralyzing. Imagine you need to have a talk with your partner about a sensitive issue. Your brain starts running simulations. In the first version, you're blunt. In the second simulation, you try a gentler approach. You use I statements instead of you statements. This version feels better, more constructive. This process is more than just worrying. It's a strategic problem-solving exercise. Each imagined version of the conversation is a data point. By rehearsing a difficult conversation, you are strengthening the neural pathways associated with that particular scenario. You're building muscle memory for your words and emotions, so when the time comes to have the actual talk, you feel more prepared, less anxious, and more confident. Your brain has already done the heavy lifting. Our brains don't just use imagined conversations to prepare for threats. They also use them to prepare for opportunities. Maybe it was acing a job interview, asking someone out on a date, or pitching a creative project. The chances are high that you spent a good amount of time playing out the ideal scenario in your head. You scripted the perfect answers to tough questions. You pictured the look of approval on the other person's face. When you vividly imagine achieving a goal, you are creating a detailed mental map. This map doesn't just show the destination, it helps you internalize the steps needed to get there. Visualizing success can trigger a release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with motivation and reward. This creates a positive feedback loop. The more you imagine success, the more motivated you feel to pursue it. By repeatedly running through a successful scenario in your mind, you make the unknown feel familiar. The interview room or the stage becomes a less intimidating place because, in a way, you've already been there and succeeded, dozens of times. It's allowing you to step into the shoes of your future self and practice being that person. You are not just hoping for success. You are actively scripting it, rehearsing it, and wiring your brain to achieve it. So how does the brain pull off this incredible feat of mental simulation? It's a beautifully coordinated symphony between several key systems. Broca's area activates when you imagine the words you'll say. Wernicke's area activates for understanding those imagined words. Visual cortex lights up when you picture the other person's facial expression. Limbic system engages to simulate the emotional core of the conversation. Amygdala processes fear and threat, that racing heart during imagined arguments. Insula processes internal sensations and empathy. This rich multi-system activation is why you can feel exhausted after overthinking an argument that never happened. Your brain and body have undergone a real stress response. Understanding this science helps demystify the process. Your brain creating fake conversations isn't a glitch, it's a feature. This simulation capability is a cognitive superpower. Learn from experiences you haven't had yet. Practice for challenges you have yet to face. Build a better future, one imagined conversation at a time. So far, we've explored how our brain uses imagined scenarios as a powerful tool for preparation. But there's another, equally common reason we retreat into our minds: to escape. Life isn't always a series of challenges to prepare for. Sometimes, it's just plain hard. It can be overwhelming, stressful, monotonous, painful. In these moments, our imagination offers a powerful and immediate form of relief. It's like having a secret door in your mind that leads to a place where things are better. Think about a long, grueling day at work. You're stuck in a boring meeting. Your mind starts to wander. Suddenly, you're not in that stuffy conference room anymore. You're lying on a sun-drenched beach. While escaping into our minds can be comforting, there's a delicate balance to maintain. Not all forms of mental escape are created equal. On one side, we have what psychologists call adaptive daydreaming. It's positive. It's brief. It often leaves you feeling refreshed. On the other side of the line, however, lies rumination. Instead of creating a pleasant fantasy, you get stuck in a negative thought loop, a painful memory, a mistake, a worry. You might find yourself locked in an imaginary argument, going over and over what you should have said or done. The key difference between the two lies in control and emotional outcome. Adaptive daydreaming is a choice. Rumination feels like a trap. It's the difference between using your imagination as a pleasant rest stop on a long journey and driving your car into a ditch on the side of the road, spinning your wheels and getting stuck deeper and deeper in the mud. First, consider work stress. Sarah is a project manager. During the day, she often finds her mind drifting. She imagines herself running a small, quiet bookstore by the sea. Next, there's social anxiety. Take Mark. At a party, he often feels awkward and invisible. To cope, he retreats into his head. Finally, let's consider grief. After losing her mother, Emily finds herself constantly imagining conversations with her. While the comfort of mental escape is undeniable, it comes with a hidden cost. Short-term relief often comes at the expense of long-term resolution. The problem in your real life doesn't go away just because you ignore it. In fact, it often gets worse. The vibrant, successful person you are in your head feels more and more distant from the person who is just going through the motions in the real world. That gap can become a source of profound dissatisfaction. It's like taking a painkiller for a broken leg. It might numb the pain for a little while, but it won't set the bone. To truly heal and move forward, you eventually have to face the reality of the injury and do the hard work of recovery. Section 4, the rewrite exercise, taking control of the script. Let's try a short, practical exercise to harness this power. First, identify a script. Bring to mind a fake conversation on loop that leaves you drained, anxious, or angry. Second, change one thing. Step in as the director. You don't need to rewrite everything. Change one single element. If it's a fight with your partner, imagine instead saying calmly, "I need a moment to think before I respond." If it's a presentation gone wrong, imagine one person smiling and nodding. Finally, rehearse the new script. Play the rewritten scene in your mind a few times. Really feel the emotional shift. This exercise shows the default script isn't the only option. It proves you can change the narrative. With practice, you train your imagination to be an ally in your emotional well-being, not a repeater of pain. Grounding practices. Returning to the real world. Grounding techniques are simple, physical practices designed to pull your attention away from the chaotic inner world of your thoughts. One of the most effective grounding techniques is the 5-4-3-2-1 method. You start by pausing and deliberately noticing 5 things you can see, 4 things you can physically feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. By the time you get to 1, you have systematically engaged all 5 of your senses to pull your awareness back into your body and your immediate surroundings. The buddy system, from internal loop to external dialogue. Sometimes, the best way to get out of the echo chamber of your own head is to invite someone else in. If you are preparing for a difficult conversation, like asking for a raise, ask a friend to play the role of your boss. Actually practice the conversation out loud. When you share your mental loops with someone you trust and they respond with, "Oh, I totally do that too," it normalizes the experience. Friend, me too. The mind's double-edged sword. We have journeyed deep into the private theater of the mind, and what we found is that this habit is a double-edged sword. On one side, a sophisticated rehearsal studio. On the other side, it can become a trap, a dark room of rumination, and yet, profound capacity for healing. The key takeaway: don't stop imagining. Become conscious of how and why. Is this thought preparing me, allowing me to escape, or helping me process? Asking this question is the first step toward control. Your story, your script. We've armed you with practical steps, not just theories. The power lies not in knowing them, but in using them. So I want to end with a direct and personal call to action. Don't let this just be another piece of content you consume and forget. Let it be a catalyst. Today, I invite you to take one small step toward becoming the author of your own mental script. Choose one technique we've discussed and commit to trying it. Your mind will continue to create stories, whether you want it to or not, but you can choose whether you participate in writing them. The stories you tell yourself matter more than you know. They shape your feelings, your actions, and ultimately, your life. So take the pen and start writing a better script. You are the author after all. What will your next chapter be about? Subscribe for deeper psychology insights that reveal how your mind really works. Like this video, if this felt a little too relatable, save it so you can understand your mind better. Turn on notifications for more mind-blowing psychology content.